and we're going to be doing astrology and how it maps to your personal character sheet, right? Oh yeah, I like this style. It brings me back, right? And also the drawings, like how the X-Men look, or draw. Look at her outfit. It's like how I like in my memory, like in my mind, how I envision it. Even though we have like live action stuff now, how I envision it. All right, guys, let's begin. Cyclops and Jean Grey, prisoners of strife. In an attempt to rescue them, an X-Squadron has attacked the Mutant Liberation Front. Professor Xavier, dying from a techno-organic virus, only one of their greatest enemies can help save them. But can Apocalypse save himself? The X-Cutioner's song continues. Hidden behind the veneer of reason in man are dark passions in search of release. Oh, Pimp Sauce. I love that you draw comic book characters. Drawing and divination is like, I love that form. Just something out of like the imagination, anchoring it down into now. Okay. Hidden within the veneer of civility in many of today's mutants are flaming angers which are all too often stoked. Hidden beneath the facade of normality in a small Arkansas town is a mutant liberation front operations base. And hidden alongside the dismantling of this base by X-Squadron is a little victory for the terrorist mutant named Reaper. Stan Lee proudly presents a chorus of excitement, The Camel's Back. That's technically the name of the comic book. But it's the X-Cutioner song storyline. So let's continue onward. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which Phoebe's head is the first to go? Quicksilver, not so fast, on your feet right now. Or Gambit, cocky rassum, frassum, gumbo jackass. Henry the Eighth has got nothing on Reaper the First. I love these drawings. Look at how beautiful Psylocke looks. This, like, that is Psylocke to me, right? Tiger Spirit? That, like, I love how these are drawn. Oh, brings me back. The nostalgia is heavy. Okay. How's about we go for a double play? How about not? Flash. Uh-oh, sniff, sniff. Plasma smell. Scythes a waste. Not even Bob Villa could save it. Havoc, old pal, what say we discuss this? I'm sure Alex would say what is on all of our minds right now, Reaper. That the time for talk is long over. Yeah, well, nice pose and all, Psylocke, but after Psy-blading him, there ain't much on Reap's mind at all, 'kay? And won't it be on yours either unless you duck? So I love how they show all the fight scenes too in comic books, because it can be hard in live action. I think Avengers might be the only ones who do this really well, where these huge epic cosmic fight scenes, especially when you're dealing with psychic warfare. I remember reading you guys an X-Men comic book where Jean was fighting Emma, and it was like all in their head. So how do you show that live action, right? I lived it back in the 90s for me, my biggest time in comics. I love it. I love the 90s. Do you have a favorite character you like to draw, Pimp Sauce? Like, because for me, I draw as well. I wouldn't consider myself a professional, but I don't know, like some drawings are just so satisfying. Like I love drawing the female form, like little waist, like even when I was working out, my vision in my head of like what I wanted to look like was always comic book characters as opposed to like anything else. Yeah, maybe unrealistic, but hey. Okay, my thanks. What's his name? Boomer, not to be confused with actual boomers. I hadn't seen Forearm approaching. No prob, Psylocke. I know how tough it is for all that ninja training to spot those sneaky four-armed guys. The sarcasm is duly noted, child. But part of a warrior's training is learning to work in concert with their comrades. Therefore, your plasma bombs render forearm open to this. Cracked. Alex, How fare our airborne comrades? Okay, let's just worry about the MLF's ground forces for now, Betsy. So he's referring to Psylocke here as Betsy. Betsy Braddock, who is the twin sister to Captain Britain, part of Excalibur, a little bit of a tie to the Summers fam there as well. And then later, because I think we've got our top sides covered pretty well. Aurora, you're closest. Nailer Storm. Do not be concerned, Rogue. In truth, Dragoness has no place to run. A contained lightning assault should deter her flight. Sakrath! Surprise, surprise. Her wings aren't organic, they're mechanical. Which makes it all the easier to magnetically hold her steady for you, Rogue. I love that, the assist, right? Like the X-Men, you're fighting as a team. Rogue is always awesome. I love Rogue. And like drawn classically, right? With her like little jacket, southern accent. I love her so much. Okay. Thanks for the setup, Lorna. So her only mutant powers are her bio stings, huh? Must have felt insecure thinking there weren't enough. Poor thing. She was right. I love that, like, also superheroes, when they're like fighting the bad guys, they always have time for like clever quips. Always time for a clever quip. Let's bat her right out of her bat wings. Scracow! Chris, she was my only friend in the MLF. Geez, that X-Man's got a mean punch. She still is, sis. She's just your unconscious friend. Now, let's get out of here. Hey, Scott Johnson, welcome. It's Jean Grey. I'm reading that as a classic X-Men comic. Welcome to the weekend. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, superhero friends, and ready for all those activations. It's November 1st, right? So, spooky season happened yesterday, but we're still in the season of the veil being very thin. So all of the messages that come through things like fiction and art and all of that, je ne sais quoi, very, very heightened right now. So thanks, you guys, for joining me for this. I'll be going for just a little bit longer. I'm going to finish this. It should be a short little read. From the 90s, I love this artwork. I love the way that this looks. I even love the way that these pages are, the old ads. It's like a time capsule, blast from the past. And, if I think about the Jays right now going for the World Series, you're like flashback to 1992 when the Jays won the World Series here, right? And I remember being 7, right? And so it's a crazy thing of like reconnecting with your inner child and like converging those timelines, right? Okay, where are we? Mom hates it when I don't keep an eye on you. And then, uh-oh. Thumbelina and Slab are in the freezer. Without Strife to coordinate them, or that Zero character to teleport them, these Phoebes are pretty easy pickings. Well, don't underestimate them, Iceman. They could surprise you. Well, no more surprising than you and me going after Rusty and Skids, huh, Sam? Jeez, I don't really want to do this. They used to be buds. Good work, Boomer. You slow them down enough for me to catch them. Rusty, it's me. It's Sam. You got a lot of explaining to do here. I think the Blue Jays will win tonight. I'll put that out there. It's kind of like we're doing a weird thing with timelines right now. Even in astrology, it's all set up for that. But I think more importantly than the Jays winning is the way time will reconfigure, because you also have daylight savings time ends tomorrow, right? So we're gonna fall back. We're gonna actually gain an hour out of nowhere, right? It's kind of a weird thing. So see how it all shakes down. Ow! You broke my jaw. Yeah, sure, feels. So the way she's talking is because her jaw is broken, so she's trying to talk with it. Incredible. Even with a broken jaw, she can't shut up. Char choice, Strife is our master. His way is the way of tomorrow. Only through pain and fire, hardship and death will order one day come. Oh, it's classic bad guy talk, right? What do you think, Boomer? Brainwashed? Laughed, rinsed, and conditioned. Sorry, pal, but I gotta knock some sense into you. So after the fight, we're gonna jump a little bit ahead to Canada, right, where Logan and Wolverine are hanging out. So we're gonna catch up with them. Meanwhile, in the wind-swept Canadian province of Newfoundland, 5 miles north of St. John's, the coastless, hard, timeless, unforgiving plays host to a trio of men who, except for their current situation, would fit quite well into the landscape. Wolverine, I thought you said they would not have sufficient pursuit capabilities. Well, that's exactly what I said, Bishop. What do you think now? So we got the dream team, Bishop, Wolverine, and Cable together, right? Isn't this a great panel? How badass everyone looks. Love it. And his like mask is extra pointy. It's amazing how good this costume looks in comic books. But they did actually in the latest Deadpool Wolverine, the yellow suit looks good. So that's exactly what I said, Bishop. Well, what do you think now? Well, I think I was wrong. Obviously, Department K's increased their financing since they began hunting me down. Well, clearly. Department K. I think also Department K, they're the Canadian people that try to like recruit mutants for nefarious bad guy shit. And they're obviously going to be against Cable because Cable's trying to protect the sacred timeline. And look, D&D tabletop stuff. Fun. Okay. Continuing onward. So, our trio of heroes, Bishop, Wolverine, and Cable, continue onward. Well, thanks for nothing, Cable. Any suggestions? Well, we could take them out. What is this? My STA training. Oh, surface to air training. Oh, wow. I mean, look at how old it is. That long ago, right? Blast from the past, like a time capsule, right? Don't forget who you are, you guys. Okay, surface to air. My STA training is quite comprehensive. No, they're just doing their jobs. So, what then? Professor Body Slide by 3. Gray Malkin bound. Cable. Son of a... What are you? Schwing. Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Salem Center, Westchester, New York. The sun sets on the grounds of this venerable estate where the hopes and dreams of the X-Men converse, before the inevitable darkness to come. Night is coming, and hope, like the daylight, is fading. Mikhail, why did you do it, my brother? Why did you take your own life? How can I go back to our parents, to the little sister you never even met, and tell them that I found you, only to lose you again? And now the professor hovers near death. I begin to wonder if life is supposed to be this way. How's the landscaping going, Peter? Do you want some coffee? Oh, Colossus. Also, the other couple I really like, Kitty Pryde and Colossus. I don't know, just Piotr, however you say his name, and his sister Magic. I think they're Magic. Yeah, so I love that whole relationship. Magic is also a wonderful character. That's an intense cosplay. Would take a lot of work, but that would be cool at some point to do her. Do you want some coffee? Spasiba. A fine blend, if I do say so myself. Hawaiian hazelnut mocha cream with some Jack Daniels. Colossus is one of my favorites. Me too. And also, how cool does he look? Like, right? All chrome and stuff. Okay. Do you have any good news to tell me? Yup. I put too much JD in there. I like Gambit too. I had a little crush on Gambit because he's a rogue, you know, that kind of like mon chéri, all sexy and stuff. Oh, that kind of thing. But like also too, like it's just also how the different powers express themselves genetically is also like why we like certain characters, right? And I think it also tells you something a little bit about yourself too. Okay. And remember, Gambit's also the king of thieves. And whenever I think of king of thieves, I also think of like Ash from Evil Dead, because back in the day, I used to love the TV show like Xena and Hercules. It's like Lucy Lawless and Kevin Sorbo. And um, Ash from Evil Dead was the king of thieves in that. So, um, Bruce Campbell. Yes, there we go. Gotcha. Bruce Campbell would make a good Gambit, like an old good Gambit, I think. Okay, anyways, continuing onward. As for Chuck's condition, there's no change. He's no worse than he was before. Now, remember, if you guys are just joining, Professor X in this issue is dealing with some like organic technovirus that they're trying to find a cure for. Stewies, thanks for liking the live and welcome. I'm Jean Grey, reading you guys a classic X-Men comic book. So thank you for joining and welcome to the weekend, you guys. Okay, let's see here. Unfortunately, Moira, he's no better either. I don't like Moira Taggart. She's annoying. But anyways, I know, Hank, but you cannot be blaming yourself for that now. 'Twas more important Oh, actually, I'm confusing her with someone else. Gosh, what's that other girl's name? Not Moira. Anyways, it'll come to me. Okay, 'twas more important you doing your mates looking for Scott and Jeannie than banging your head here. I also love how like the accents are put into the panel so that they can embarrass me in trying to talk about them or try to do them. I wonder if it was Moira. I wonder if there wasn't more I could do for Charles. For the whole world, if I may be so bold. If I were to concentrate more on my talents in biogenetics and less on gallivanting around as an X-Man. Look at this. This thing Charles has been infected with. Every antigen contagion we introduce into his body is immediately co-opted into the techno-organic mesh which is covering his body. I've never seen a pathogen work this way. Never, ever. How are we ever supposed to fight it? Well, perhaps we canna, Hank. Perhaps we're all hoping for a blessed miracle. Are you saying we should just give up, Dr. McTaggart? That the fight is over? I'm saying that maybe, heaven help us, the fight was over the second Charles was shot. Somewhere, the enigmatic man called Strife watches the game being played. And though the pieces slide across the board in a fashion exceeding his expectations, the chessman takes little satisfaction in the proceedings. It unfolds before us, Zero. The stage is set. The curtain of revenge opens, only to reveal the theater of the absurd behind it. Maintain your vigil, silent night. I have some more personal matters to attend to. But what could be more personal than revenge, you may ask? Redemption, perhaps. Synth prep, warm milk substitute. Oh, he's making warm milk for some reason. Synth prep, warm milk substitute, oh my gosh, how do I say this? Substantive infant supplement. He's making baby formula. And he's 2 baby formulas. Who are the 2 baby formulas to? And Stewies, thanks for liking the live. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Weekend Warriors. I'm Jean Grey, your host for the Cosmic Comic Book Club, and we're reading X-Men, the X-Cutioner song. And this is $1.50 US, and Marvel Comics, I think it's like 1991. Nope, 1992. Crazy, you guys. Look at the bottom half here. They have a little Spider-Man thing here. 30 years, anniversary, 1962, 1992. Making me think that this comic book's 1992. And 1992 is when the Jays last won the World Series in baseball. So weird. I don't know. Agreed. And the 90s were the best, too. One of my favorite CDs of all time, because I was one of those girls back in the day. I don't know if you guys did this, like burn CDs off of like, Napster, LimeWire, those kind of like sharing platforms, and you'd build like I would always gift my friends a CD, like a mixtape of like 12 songs that like reminded me of them kind of thing. So like that was I miss that, right? And like when everyone had like a car setup with like remember Pimp My Ride, right? With Exhibit. And they had like big like bass boost in the back and like that kind of thing. Nice had the best music. Yeah, totally burned CDs. I found some of my old and Sharpie artwork on the CD. Yo, yes. Yeah, and those books, you know, those like those books of CDs or those CDs that you could actually burn like I think like my hubby was saying like MP3 CDs, like CDs that can hold like 80 songs or something like an MP3 player kind of. CD binders. Yeah, we got to bring those back. You know, bring back the old mixtapes, you know? And I would mix together songs, thinking about it now as I'm learning DJing and putting together different mixtapes. I miss like big shiny tunes, Dance Mix 95, Bump and Grind CDs, like things that are like compilations of like, I would never buy the whole CD of like these artists, but I love that one song and you have that all in like one, you know, one go. It's kind of nice. Oh, I love that. Yo, passenger to see was a DJ. Love it, love it. Yeah. And props to you if you had one of those CD players that had like internal, like 6 CDs you could like mix up kind of thing. We are dating ourselves, you guys. But you know what? Everything right now is streaming, right? So technically speaking, even Spotify and stuff, I've noticed that the mix on Spotify is not the same mix as like as I remember it. I'll give you guys a little example before we go forward. Like so in Dance Mix 95, which is like one of my favorite CDs growing up. I was like 10 years old when it came out, but I love music. Love music. But in that CD, there's the Dance Mix CDs that Much Music released. The beauty of them was that you know like when a song ends, you go to the next track. Dance Mix was like mixed, right? So like the tail end, like the outro of the of one song is mixed into the beginning of another, so it's like this beautiful like seamless transition, right? So Saturday Night by Wigfield in Dance Mix 95, me and my girlfriends, we did that song for like a talent show, like a dance thing. But the end of that song gets mixed into a song called I'm a Dreamer by Living Joy. Now, for me, Saturday night, that song always has that mix at the end. So when I get the Saturday night song from Spotify, it's obviously not that mix. It's not the Dance Mix 95 version where like that end part of it has that teasing in of the Live and Joy song. So to me, that song always is that way, even though I hear it in other ways. And it actually, to me, that song will always have like the echo of another song in it. So oh, thanks, you guys. So it's some interesting ways in which music and these other artistic mediums convey like the current day, right? And you know, if yeah, you know the song Saturday Night Dance. I like the way you move, pretty baby. It's party time, and now 1 minute you can lose, pretty baby. I don't know. Na 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 na. Yeah, that song, and let me see if I can remember the dance to it. But me and my friends, we did that song. But the song following it is a great song too. Like I'm a dreamer, and it's kind of nice. I was into West Coast. I liked West Coast rap, like California love. I used to love hip hop back in the day. I'm half Filipino, so you know, I used to like bust out the B girl crip walk moves and you know, dance circles and battles and stuff. I used to do that. uh, I was always cutesy. I like doing cutesy hip hop. And I miss the fusion stuff of like even when like Country Grammar came out with like Nelly. Well, the pants being down low was kind of like annoying, but you know, just like the different I miss when rap and hip hop was more poetic, right? And it had like TLC, Left Eye, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, like the like girly raps. I miss good girly raps. There's something about the rappers in those female girl groups that's a little bit sketchy and cursed. I'm gonna it was all different. It was totally all different. It was just a sign of the times and maybe it's just us reclaiming our inner children and reclaiming those times and those stories. Yeah. Doctor Strange, cosplay as Elektra. Ooh, I like Elektra a lot. I could do Elektra. Magic, I would need a little bit more work. I'd have to put together her headpiece. There's a girl who actually does a really amazing magic. I would love to have her as like a guest. Okay. Yes, and individualistic. It was like everything was so different, right? I was the type of person I loved lots of different music. I love lots of different things, even country, right? It has its place for me. If a song is a good song, I'll usually like if I can dance to it, if I can groove to it, if it hits something in me emotionally, I will love it. Regardless of if I don't necessarily like the genre thing. It's like for me in books, like comic books. I don't just read DC. I don't just read Marvel. I don't just read science fiction. I don't just read Shakespeare. I love all of it. I love all of it. I just go towards what feels right to me, right? So I welcome you guys with that kind of stuff too, and also not to put up barriers for yourself. Or sometimes you'll like my sister's kind of like this, but I've learned how to trick her into being exposed to new things. You get stuck in your own thing, like, well, I only listen to this type of music. I wouldn't like that music. But then I trick her into coming to a rave. She's like, actually, I like rave music now. Like, yeah, because like why we like music, no one can tell you why you like what you like other than the fact that you like it, right? And sometimes you like a song for a while and then you end up hating it. Same thing with books and stories, right? Because I've read this story a couple times, and every time I read it, it has something different, or a line will stick out to me, right? So or just like a different piece of the artwork, how it's drawn. And because all of my inspiration for my cosplays are from comic books, I like to be comic book accurate as a way of bringing art into live action, because movies are wonderful, right? But you're always going to have that director's lens on it, like James Gunn or Zack Snyder or anyone who did any of the X-Men, or even the ones who each artist, how they draw the character brings an extra nuance and flavor and lens to it, right? And songs can tie themselves to experiences, and 100%, right? Like, oh, there's a movie, I can't remember what it's called now, but it deals with time travel, where a girl, she loses her significant other, and she's able to teleport through time whenever she hears a song that they've listened to together. So she's like teleported back into time to the very first time she's heard that song with that person. So that's a truth though, right? Like songs can teleport you back into time, just like stories, just like this right now. It's like we're entering a little time capsule back into 1992. The Jays are about to win the World Series, but it's 2025 too. And it's also 100 years from now, and it's also 1 million years in the past. So all of that in time, it's like listening to a record. When you're on, because typically in a burnt CD, you can fit 12 songs, right? Even if you're on like the 12th song, that record still contains the first song, the second song, even though you're paying attention to only the last, right? Those other songs still forever exist because they have existed, right? Kind of fun. I like it. The immortal soul of the human being and who you are, right? Okay, so Charles Xavier's dealing with a technovirus. Beast, of course, as a character, as one of the original X-Men, deals the most with being like this duality, like Beauty and the Beast, or like the characters who like are these geniuses who end up transforming and being like this physical manifestation of like wildness or beastliness, but on the inside are super intelligent. So he deals a lot with like, well, maybe if I wasn't going around with the X-Men gallivanting around being all beastly, I would have more time to do like science stuff and figure out a cure for Professor X, right? Something to kind of think about. What would you do? What would you think? I like Beast a lot, actually. Okay. I'm saying that maybe, heaven help us, the fight was over the second Charles was shot. And so, Strife, oh yeah, we left off with him creating some infant formula. For whom, you may ask? For Cyclops and Jean, who are his prisoners. Oh, thanks, Angry Turd. Your name makes me laugh, so thanks. And welcome you guys to the live. We're reading X-Men, classic X-Men. Please do drop in the chat who your favorite X-Men is. My favorite X-Men as a child was Storm, growing up, I considered her like a goddess, like because I'm half South African, right? So she's like pure goddess, right? uh, and growing up, and Psylocke, actually lived Storm and Psylocke growing up. And then as I got older, I ended up loving Jean Grey and Phoenix just because of I relate to that. um, I think you're right, Catch 22, that Strife is a clone of someone. I wish I'll do some digging on exactly who. But we do have Cable, Bishop, and Wolverine in this as well. And I think we talked about how like Madeline Pryor is a clone of Jean Grey. Actually, you know what? Side note here about, you know, how Jean Grey is written in X-Men 95. Her Jean Grey and I think like Mary Jane sometimes get written in this weird way of being like this like jealous wifey figure when like if I think to what happened, right? And Cyclops basically sleeping with Madeline Pryor to have Cable. Like Jean gets so mad. She's like, I can't believe you cheated on me with me. Like, you know, like he basically like Cyclops was like brokenhearted that he thought he lost the love of his life. And of course, when you have someone who's literally a clone, how could you not fall in love with her? So mine is Storm too because I'm African American. I love Jean. Yeah, Rogue's a great one too. Um, you are African American, Gwen. Let me just. I don't want to say like where in Africa are you from, but where would you say you have your ancestry from? Also, I'm half South African, right? So the goddess energy of the Orishas. I hope I'm saying that right, right? The elemental spirits of the African land. Those of the children of that land. I feel like you can have that kind of embodied. Uh, who's that? Who's thirsty? Oh my gosh. I want to uncensor your comment because it's funny. Autolycus. Autolycus. There you go. Beautiful. I was born in Africa and I born what your heritage that you were saying is from, right? I love Georgia, by the way. Um, Atlanta, Georgia, I've actually visited twice. Um, Once when I was actually visiting South Africa, um, I visited South Africa actually in 2018 for a work trip, and I flew through Atlanta, Georgia. I was so funny passing through there because I wear wigs now to do cosplay, but back then I used to like bleach my hair like crazy. So I had like platinum blonde, bleach blonde hair, and I remember like all the customs people are like called me Nicki Minaj. And then also too, I went to Nelson Mandela's house, and like a lot of people took pictures with me in front of that house because um, I don't know, Augusta. Augusta. I like that name. I like that city name better. Augusta. It's got some still goddess energy there though, Gwen Stacy. I see you. I see you. All right, guys. Let's continue onwards. Because I do want to wrap up because I think the Jays are starting their game on at 8 o'clock and just make sure, we'll see what happens, right? Um, it is absolutely amazing artwork. I miss this artwork, like just the style of it, even the paper, how matte it is, like less gloss. It feels illustrated, right? I mean, like her outfit here is literally like my dream body. Okay. So Strife makes some baby formula and he like opens the door into the prison with a swish. It says, Mr. Summers, Ms. Gray. I hate being called, at least he didn't say ma'am, because there's nothing else I hate more than being addressed as ma'am, 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 or like sir, like, oh my gosh, who are you talking to? Okay. Mr. Summers, Ms. Gray, I've neglected to feed you since your visit began. Please rise. It is time to feast. And Cyclops gets up all angry, saying, Enough, Strife. We're not playing your games. Fashoof, Scott, I will not abide by such tantrums. Because he's treating them like children as a way to humiliate them, obviously. It is time to eat. It is good for you. So he picks up the infant formula and he tries to force feed Scott Cyclops with it. I can't even move my optic beams. And he's like, open wide now. There's a boy. there's a good boy. And he's like, ah, trying to, like, that, some sort of form of torture there, basically. And also the reason why Scott and Jean can't use their powers is because they do this a lot in X-Men. They have like this collar that negates all of their mutant powers, which like I kind of wonder too, like if they have this technology, like why couldn't Rogue use that if she wanted to have like sexy time with Gambit? Because I feel so bad. Like she can't kiss Gambit, she can't touch him, and he loves her so much. And like, could she just hold like have that little collar and they can have like fun times and then she can go back to work kind of thing. Cosplay as Crystal or Medusa from Inhumans. I'm not familiar with Inhumans. I will check that out. Yeah, Stewie's right because um and also to other comic books they deal with like the mutant gene as like a disease, so like they end up with a cure, but then it's also this thing of like, do you want to cure something that is part of who you are, right? And like curing a personality or an essence, that kind of thing. Didn't Xavier almost be gone in this? Yes, you're right, Tiger Spear. He's like dying right now of a technovirus. And Strife has taken Jean and Scott on prisoner. And Beast is working on a cure, but him and Moira are like, oh no, we're going to lose him. I don't know how he got the virus, but I don't know if it's like that time. Remember he got shot. There's many times that like Charles Xavier dies, including the one time when Cyclops actually kills him. When he's Phoenix Force, but that's a whole separate thing. Okay, so he's force feeding Cyclops just as a way to kind of be a dick and like torture him, right? And then so Strife says, did the little boy enjoy his dinner? Did I do it right? It's like mocking him. Is that how it's done? Is that how you nurse a child? Is it? Is it? Oh, thanks, Attila. Scott, our powers, they're go. Oh, thanks, Attila. I'm gonna hand heart back at you. Thank you for that. It's like bringing comic books to life as well, you guys. It's just to give some light to this artwork too, which I'm a big fan of. And as you guys, fellow Canadian, hey, yeah. So it's funny because this is 1992, right? And like the Jays, I'm gonna wrap up very soon because in about 20 minutes the game's gonna start for the finals of the World Series, which the Jays are probably gonna win. Oh, love it. I think, you guys, this is a personal opinion, that comic books, actually all works of art, present as ciphers for you on a personal life mission or journey. Think of it as like breadcrumbs from yourself, from the future to yourself, for you to learn about yourself as you go through life, right? Yeah, the X-Cutioner song. All right, so let's continue onwards. We're almost done. Where are we? So just to remind you guys, like the reason why Scott can't just like use his optic beams and blast him away is because they have the collar on. Let's see here. Our powers are gone. And then Scott's like, it must be a dampening field or something. And Strife continues to mock Jean and Scott, saying, if I can easily understand what it requires to wean a child, so should you. Until next time. And then he leaves. So he came there to just feed them infant formula, mock them, and then leaves. Just like every good bad guy. Didn't reveal his plan though, which is what I feel like bad guys love to do, like announce everything they're about to do. Okay, so he leaves, he goes to Zero. There's actually a character in Borderlands 3 called Zero as well, who I also equally think is annoying. Actually might play Borderlands 3 with my sister. Not today, but probably tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. We have to finish that DLC. So Zero, the time has come. I must confront the Forever Killer directly, before he has the opportunity to piece this puzzle together. To the land of the pharaohs, my friend. Thank you, Zero. I will summon you when you are needed. There was a time when these desert sands ran red with rivers of blood. The ancient temple at, where's this? Bani Maza has not been seen, has not been seen the sights nor heard the sounds of war for hundreds of years. So I don't really know what Strife's MO is here, why he stole them, but looks like he's trying to go to some ancient temple. Looks like a power grab. I always feel bad guys always have like these kinds of motivations. The more nuanced bad guys are the ones who are like doing things for like love or other things, right? I know. Okay. So he goes, and that is about to change. There's a big explosion. Kaboom. And I love these old ads too. They bring me back. These little bulletins. And like letters to the editor. I freaking miss that stuff. Okay. The Dark Riders. I'm actually not familiar with them. Do you guys know? Let's find out. Thanks, Opie. The Dark Riders, I assume. Let's see here. Strife is a clone of Cable raised by Apocalypse. Thanks, you, Catch-22. He's a clone of Cable? You guys notice how much Marvel likes clones? Like, they do clones a lot. Like, we should do an episode on cloning. I did a school project on cloning way back in the day in the 90s, but Desire of Ages is that book. I'm gonna write that down. You guys are so smart. I love you guys. I'm gonna write. So did Apocalypse make the clone? I also when we're thinking about like these entities, right, of like forces of like the end, the apocalypse, that kind of thing. Spider-Man clone, yeah, Spider-Man deals with the clones things too, right? Also, something to kind of consider as well when we think about twins, right? Twins or siblings or like, your parentage. Like the biggest thing I can kind of consider too is like Magneto, for example. His children are Quicksilver and Wanda, right? Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and like how the powers transfer in generations and how it all kind of works out. Even though your parentage might be one way or another, like, is it a guarantee that if your mother is a very powerful telepath that you will be a powerful telepath, or will that express in a different way based on like your father, right? That kind of thing. Yay, Mother Ascani created the clone when she thought she couldn't heal the teal virus that Cable had. Thank you, Opie. I love Mother Ascani. Oh, I wrote a bunch of notes about her in here because I relate to Rachel Summers a lot. Rachel Summers is known as like a multiversal anomaly. There's a story where, like Psylocke, for example, she's supposed to be Betsy Braddock. So if you guys don't know much about Psylocke, I have a cosplay of her that I'm working on that's more like the one you see in this comic book. I'll show you guys because apparently, you guys, Psylocke was in the Deadpool Wolverine movie and she got like edited out. And I don't think they gave her the sexy outfit. So, boo. This outfit. I want this Psylocke. I think Olivia Munn played her. Or was she Lady Deathstroke? I can't remember now. Olivia Munn would be a great Psylocke, in my opinion. I just think. Or me. I don't know. But the whole point of that, there's a whole interesting thing with Betsy Braddock and Captain Britain and Merlin, as well as Excalibur, Rachel Summers, and yeah, Olivia Munn. She's bomb. I love her. Oh wait, did I finish? Let me see. I think it just ends there. Let's see. No, I finished this part. Okay. The Dark Riders, I presume. Protecting your feeble master's failing health? Riders, ponder this. If a power as eternal as his requires protecting, perhaps he is not a power at all. Foxbat is downed. Synapse and tusk are easily disposed of with a brush stroke. Gauntlet, for all of his displays of machismo, masculine machismo, is equally ineffective. Bam. Love it. So, Strife is kind of a dick to everyone. Bad guys, good guys, doesn't matter. kind of like Cable too. That came the same like Cable, Wolverine, like in Bishop there, the three of them that are on this mission over here that they don't really tell you much more about. I love it. Like the anti-heroes, like the badasses, right? You need sometimes like for dirty work to be done in the cosmos, you need to just, walk that line of like darkness and light kind of thing. Doctor Strange, Sabretooth or Wolverine. Yeah, and you know what? Wolverine, the fact that he's Canadian too. Did you guys know Logan, right? They named Logan Wolverine, or like they named Wolverine Logan, his real name, after the tallest mountain in Canada, Mount Logan, which is in the Yukon. The creators thought it would be funny if the smallest X-Man or the shortest X-Man would be named after the tallest mountain. But James Howlett. Yeah, yes. Okay, guys, continuing on. Where are we? I don't know how tall he is. Well, I mean, here's the thing though, too, when we have live action versions, like Hugh Jackman embodying Wolverine was great call. I love Hugh Jackman. But like they turned Wolverine into being something like more sexy. Like now he's like hot now. Yeah, but he's supposed to be like short, like 5'3". Like I'm short too, so that wouldn't be short for me. Like that's mean like small girls, there's like someone for everyone, right? Um but like Wolverine is kind of like that compact powerhouse situation, right? Like, because I used to bodybuild and things. And so just the way musculature works and healing stuff, and like, it makes sense that he'd be like short and compact. Now, when we talk about like them being embodied in real life, I think it's more of like a vibe as well, right? So if we like, I'll tell you guys a funny story that like when I was a little girl growing up, I was obsessed with having red hair. I don't know why, like I like have like I don't know why. So the very first hair color when I first dyed my hair was bright fire engine red, and I went to an all girls Catholic high school, so I had to change it because it wasn't found in nature. I'm like, screw you guys, it's found in nature. Wolverine in the comics is 5'2". Yeah, he's pretty short. He's not supposed to be attractive, right? Like the same thing goes with like Master Chief in Halo, right? These characters are not supposed to be like, oh, pretty boys that I put up on my bedroom wall, which I have done, but they are attractive in a different way. And it's why going back to the love triangle situation, which is what I'm going to end off this conversation with. Actually, wait, let me finish off the comic book so you guys have an ending and I can figure out where the storyline goes and we can continue it later. And Sam Haven, thank you very much. And thanks for joining. And Jean Grey is Jean Grey, just like Supergirl in the 80s, was killed off due to a sacrifice, right? And that sacrifice has been a big crux point of the character development, right? And what I've taken from embodying Jean Grey is learning how to no longer be afraid of fear, right? Learning to dance with darker parts of the psyche, right? Because when it comes to psychic warfare, dealing with mind constructs, where you have to kind of build a mind that is resilient and train that mind no different than you train like working out, right? So if you're working on like psychic abilities, like you're not going to try lifting up something heavy first, just like you're not going to lift 100-pound dumbbells your first workout. You're going to start with 5-pound dumbbells and you like work your way up. So same thing will go with any type of ability, right? You can't just, even if you're talented at something, you still need to practice, you still need to work at it, and be aware of where we can be open to learning and education from the universe, and in the form of mentors or stories or someone who wrote a comic book 20 years ago that you're just finding now, right? So that kind of thing. All right. And you underlings are hardly worthy of even the slightest attention. Useless. All of you, useless, unfit. Now, hard drive, the last line of defense. The one chosen to guard and control the master's instruments of salvation. If you are as unworthy as your master, what does that say for him? What indeed? Come out, Time Walker. Come to me now, uncertain, unknowing, weak, childlike. Come to me as I came to you, a babe with need for succor. Come to me, come to me. Who is he talking to? It's like he went to some like ancient site and you're like, oh, I get it. He's summoning Apocalypse. There we go. Apocalypse, who are you? As you are the devil of yesterday who haunts my tomorrows, I am the demon of tomorrow who has come for cold retribution. I am strife. Remember it, for that is the name of the man who is going to kill you. Next week, X-Force number 17, Strife versus Apocalypse. So, I mean, if Strife kills Apocalypse, oh well then, right? There's something going on there. I think to the person who was saying Opie, I think that it was Apocalypse who raised the clone of Cable as Strife. He seems like he's getting back at his like adoptive dad of Apocalypse for like the poor upbringing he's had. Well, I mean, if you have an evil villain as your father, that's something to deal with. And I think some of us have dealt with that type of burden as well, right? Where you have situations in your life where you have to like overcome things like a caregiver or a parent or someone in a position of trust or mentorship betrays you, right? So all of us in whatever hero's journey, whatever path you're on, right? I hope you find the inspiration that you need in order to keep pushing on, because that is the most important thing, right? And that's really why I do these lives, like sharing stories, right? Sharing fantastical tales so we can figure out more about ourselves. After all, you are the universe learning about itself, dreaming about itself through a beautiful lens that is you. So, Archangel, Doug Ray Scott got role of Wolverine first, but was injured. Oh, I did not know that. Did not know that. Cool fact. Funny how things work out that way, right? Like, for example, I'll tell you guys that in just a second. Opie says, at the time, Cable thought he was the clone and Strife the original. Yes, I feel like that happens with Spider-Man too, right? Where the clone, I mean, the clone wouldn't think that they're a clone, and that's the scary part about it, I think. That's the horror behind it. Even like, if I'm not me and you're saying like all my memories are false, but I have a memory of it. I'm real. Aren't I real? Right? So, is the clone you? Like that's like the twin, like that whole situation, parsing out like what that all is. There aren't answers. I think that's the point. It's supposed to be us pondering it, and in our striving to understand it, we figure out greater truths about things, I think. All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining me. Ben Riley was the clone. Yes, 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 Sophie. All for sales. You think? You think it was all for sales? I think the clone thing brings up a similar thing that like robotics and AI bring up, right? Like what makes a soul, and bringing this back to our earlier conversation, you guys, about elementals and like human beings, right? Where I was having here how human beings we have a spirit, we have an elemental body, but we also have an immortal soul that lives on after, after death, right? So to gain a soul, the way that the 16th century alchemists looked at it was that elementals would marry a human being and get a soul through that type of marriage. But we have this concept of like the alchemical marriage, even within ourselves, right? Our masculine and feminine aspects, this idea of differentiating parts, right? Like fire and water that seem very different. But if they can work together, they can create steam and power a train engine, right? So how we can leverage power, right? Personifications of power, and power as they embody themselves within us in a responsible, loving, and beautiful superhero way, I think is best, right? The Evil Dead movie, yes, did good Ash and bad Ash. And you know what? I love Evil Dead is scary. Good Ash. But you know what, too? Like, I think that's like where Dark Phoenix and White Phoenix, is it White Phoenix or Light Phoenix, come into play, too, right? And not to spoil anything, but in terms of the Phoenix, the way the way that it ends up resolving itself is how we harness power. And Hope Summers, uh, there's this big altercation where there's concern that the phoenix is coming for Hope Summers, and if Hope embodies the phoenix, that's the end of the world, destruction, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. But if you learn how to harness power, what ends up happening is that Hope says like no more phoenix and like relinquishes the power, and in doing that it like releases the phoenix into the greater cosmos. So there's this idea of like we think that we can remake the world in a utopia. We won't think that we can fix it, and oftentimes we can be so arrogant about our view of what it would take to fix things that we forget that like we only have one perspective, right? So sometimes what's best is just to remove ourselves from that equation, let that go, learn what it's like to be utterly powerless so that you can be worthy of holding ultimate power. The duality of that kind of situation. Hope that makes sense. Kind of does, maybe. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me as Jean Grey, right? Classic X-Men, Marvel girl, your bestie, all that kind of stuff. And no problem, Tiger Spirit. Tomorrow I'll be back as Supergirl, Kara Zor-El. We're going to be talking a little bit about sigils. Sigils and creating your own character through astrology. And what your different astrology, like we were talking about elementals, like are you more of like a fire user? Are you a telepath? Are you more of like a berserker fighter? So all of these things, clues can be given to you in your astrology chart as to what roles have more synergy and flow for you. I'm not going to tell you any fatalistic. You can do whatever you want in this life, but there are going to be certain pathways that are probably more meant for you to follow. So with that, hey Ant-Man Cosplay, I'm just about to drop off. I may be back on later on tonight, but if not, I will for sure see you guys all tomorrow for superhero school, and we're going to learn all about sigil magic, all about your astro stack and your character in the cosmic game of life. Because remember, it takes true courage for you to play as exactly you in the cosmic game of life. So be sure to show up and play as exactly you, because the universe is counting on you. That's right, Stewies, and let's hope the Blue Jays win. I'm putting it out there, you guys. And to all of you guys, remember, the universe is counting on you, but I got your back. Stay super, guys. Till next time.